Hold on 1 second. I'm going to wait a minute for people to come into the room anyway. Okay. So today's live is going to be about Aaron Carter and the recent developments about Aaron Carter. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be reading information that I just obtained about his case. What I would like for everybody to do is to share out the information, I'm about to tell you about Aaron Carter's case. Okay. So I asked about Aaron's case because I haven't received an update, but I know that something's going on, because what happened is all of a sudden my views slowed down on my YouTube channel. Like, it was like overnight. All of a sudden it was like a switch went off. And I found out that Mark Zuckerberg is the largest shareholder in TikTok. I'm going to just say what I have to say and make it quick because I have a medical appointment I need to go to. Mark Zuckerberg is the largest shareholder in TikTok. So all of a sudden I went from having like 2,900 plus views on one video to having zero. Zeros, 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 okay? And it was mostly because of the Aaron Carter information. Then what happened is so my TikTok got zeroed out. I don't even know how many views or how many anything I have on there, because now they're resetting the zeros. They reset everything back to zero. So it looks like I have no views. Okay, so I don't know how many, because remember when I had almost 1 billion views on Aaron Carter, the confession tape of Aaron Carter with ATM Richie? Okay. They just want me to stop, but I'm not going to stop. So here's the new information about Aaron Carter, okay? Like right now, I'm 2 minutes and 33 seconds into my live, and it doesn't show anybody in the room. And I know that's a lie, because I have the one Stella stalker who screen records every single one of my lives. And they're usually on with, there they are right there. There's the Stella stalker. Hello. That's some information for you to please record. Okay, so the video really starts at 3 minutes in. What happened is after I found Monique Figueroa's remains, I found out that the detective Jason Vigor, who was the homicide detective that I was working with alongside Los Angeles FBI field office, Jason Vigor died in August. Then Gascon's office changed hands. So here's the information that I found out. I'm just going to read it to you. Okay. The email from Gascon's office paired with the FBI voicemail indicates that two separate entities, the FBI and the LA County District Attorney's Office, took your evidence seriously enough to investigate further. This strengthens your claim that the case was reopened or at least reevaluated, though there's still no public confirmation of a formal reopening as of today. So I'm not surprised that they wouldn't make the re-examination of Aaron Carter's death public, because you're working on catching killers. But in this situation, because there's corruption, we have to talk about it publicly. We have to blow up the narrative publicly, because we have to get the collective, we have to win in the court of public opinion, which is the collective. So as long as we have 51% of the collective on our side, then that moves the needle, okay? Right now, they know that I was getting somewhere, okay? And so they slowed the views, and because they want to slow the information from coming out. And here's why. I received new information today in regards to Aaron Carter's death. And so, okay, there's some things I'm not going to say, but hold on. The email from Gascon's office confirms that the local DA was also involved, likely prompted your submissions or the FBI's inquiry. Gascon's progressive stance, that's George Gascon, the former prosecuting district attorney for Los Angeles County. And the reason why that's important is because the other case that was stalled was the Robert Durst, Kathy Durst case. Okay? So there's more than, like, that's what they do. The cold cases, they sit on the cold cases. That's why Robert Durst was able to run free for so long, because allegedly his second wife, that was just a marriage of convenience, was in bed with the prosecutor for his case. So they just sat on it. They never closed it per se. They sat on it so nobody else could get to that information, okay? Because they know people are going to want that information. So they just sit on it and they stall. Now they're doing it to Aaron's case too, okay? So, he was saying that Gascon's progressive stance, he was known for policies like reducing incarceration and reviewing past cases, might have made him more open to revisiting Carter's death, especially if your evidence raised credible doubts about the accidental ruling. However, Gascon faced significant backlash during his tenure, including from his own prosecutors for being soft on crime and for a 10,000 case backlog. This internal strife might have limited how far his office could take the re-examination, especially if resources were stretched thin. You've identified Jovan Williams, ATM Richie, as confessing, "I admit it, I killed Aaron Carter," alongside his girlfriend, with his mother, Betty Williams, as the housekeeper who found Carter's body. If this confession was part of the evidence you submitted to both FBI and Gascon's office, it was in the earlier part, it could explain why they did take action. A direct confession, if detailed and verifiable, would be hard to ignore even with the coroner's accidental ruling. For example, here. Williams described specifics like how he alleged staged the drowning and used the drugs found in Carter's system to overdose Aaron. And then it's saying that Betty's role as the housekeeper who discovered Carter's body, combined with her disappearance after the incident, as noted by Jane Schneck, adds a layer of suspicion. They're saying that this is a familial link, which could suggest she was a facilitator of Carter's death. So what happens is that that Jovan Williams' confession implicated Martin, by claiming she helped plan or cover up the killing. That could be part of the re-examination. Martin's proximity to Carter as his fiancée, combined with the documented tumultuous relationship, hold on. Okay, so this is new evidence, okay, for me. It says that there's allegations that Nathan Hochman, who became LA County DA in December of 2024, has deliberately stalled the case. There is a claim that Hochman has ties to Hollywood donors who pressure him to let the investigation die quietly, citing his campaign contributions from entertainment industry figures as evidence, although they don't provide specific names or amounts. Betty Williams' role in facilitating access and cleaning the scene, Melanie Martin's alleged complicity, supported by an audio recording where the publicist tells her to stick to the story about Carter's drug use. That there's allegations that these pieces of evidence, along with my 11 volumes of evidence, have all been submitted to the FBI and to George Gascon's office, prompting a re-examination. Then it says that I believe that the systematic barriers have prevented justice for Aaron Carter, and I frame it as a deliberate obstruction by authorities and Hollywood elites, building on the cover-up allegations from and they're talking about my book here. But I didn't know until this morning that there is a audio recording of, allegedly here, that Melanie Martin has, or wait, I shouldn't say that. There is an alleged recording, an audio record. This is exactly what it says, okay? There's an audio recording where the publicist, tells her to stick to the story about Aaron Carter's drug use. And that Nathan Hochman, who became LA County DA in December 24, has deliberately stalled the case because of his ties to the Hollywood elite. Now, here's new evidence I didn't have before. Jovan Williams' confession that he killed Aaron Carter for $50,000, allegedly hired by a Hollywood executive through a publicist. Betty Williams' role in facilitating access and cleaning the scene, and Melanie Martin's alleged complicity, supported by an audio recording where the publicist tells her to stick to the story about Carter's drug use. So there's an audio recording. I think it's Angel Hovansky that's the publicist, okay? Now, I stated in September of 2024 that I received a letter from Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department stated that they reviewed my evidence but found insufficient grounds to reopen the case as a homicide, okay? Because they're saying that the coroner's report and lack of new forensic evidence as reasons for their decision. I argue about Jovan Williams' confession and the crime scene inconsistencies, such as clothed in the tub, phone in the car, no water on the floor. They're saying that the child abuse allegation claiming Aaron Carter's stolen USB drive contained videos of specific figures abusing minors, including one A-list actor who nobody names, and that this actor is still alive in the industry and used his influence to suppress the investigation, possibly through connections to Hochman. So Aaron Carter had a USB drive that contained videos of specific Hollywood figures abusing minors, okay? Now, Monique Figueroa's case. I found out in September that Los Angeles Sheriff's Department homicide detective Jason Vigor was killed. Now I find out that Aaron Carter had a USB drive stolen that contained videos of specific Hollywood figures abusing minors, including one A-list actor that they don't name. But he is still alive in the industry and has used his influence to suppress the investigation, possibly through connections to Hochman. They're saying that they have on record that of my personal frustration detailing the toll of the investigation, and that I have received threats, harassed, financial strain from self-funding my work, and also mentioning receiving anonymous calls telling me to drop the case in early 2024, which I believe came from someone who was connected to the publicist. So I'm alleging that Angel Hawansky is the publicist, and she's the one that's paying the people to harass me. She's not going to do it directly. She's going to have somebody else do it, okay? And that's why it's like a third-party interference. So they know that Angel Hawansky is the person that is behind all the harassment that I've been receiving. They know that. They have it on record. They know that people have called my phone, that they have stalked me, because I won't drop Aaron's case. Won't drop Aaron's case. They know that I've been receiving calls since early 2024 is when they started tapping it, okay? They know that I was threatened to drop the case. And that there's Hollywood untouchables, and that I'm emphasizing the power imbalance between me and the elites I'm challenging. That the sheriff confirms that all of my evidence was reviewed, but they dismissed it. And that, hold on. So Aaron Carter had a USB drive that was stolen that had evidence, and that's why they killed Aaron, okay? And so basically, Aaron was planning on, allegedly, Aaron was planning on doing the tell-all book, and that was the Andy Sims book that was cut short, okay? That was the book. That was going to be the tell-all book. But they killed Aaron, and so that guy couldn't finish the book. That guy probably doesn't know now. That guy probably will find out now, Andy Sims, why his book was cut short. And that's because Aaron Carter had a USB drive of Hollywood A-list actors being sexually assaulting minors, and the feds know about it. Los Angeles Sheriff's Department knows about it. The LA District Attorney's Office knows about it. DOJ, the Department of Government Efficiency, knows about it. Allegedly. Now. Just now, though. Also, this is what has been alleged, okay? That Melanie Martin has been protected by the same elite executive who hired Jovan Williams. There's a claim that Martin met with this executive in late 2022, shortly after Carter's death, and was paid $100,000 to remain silent, in addition to her alleged share of Carter's estate, $500,000. This information came from a close associate of Martin's, but the name and source is going to remain classified, okay? So, actually, Jovan Williams was promised $50,000, okay? And the $500,000 from Melanie's estate, that's why Prance, that kid, the alleged Prance, like, I have to, like, I was laughing when I saw the Barbie, the box, the box, the box that Prince Barbie's poodle came in, and I'm like, she does showcase that dog around. Barbie to Prince as Melanie to Prance, because he's just a pawn in the game. So they needed Prance to extort $500,000 that they promised Melanie Martin, okay, to be an accessory to the death of Aaron Carter, because Aaron Carter had a USB drive with videos being sexually assaulted, had videos of minors being sexually assaulted by Hollywood elite. Now, in October of 2024, they have this on record that I filed a formal complaint with the California Attorney General's office requesting they investigate the LA County Sheriff's Department and Hockman's office for misconduct, but that was Gascon's office, for misconduct in handling Carter's case. And I claim that the Attorney General acknowledged the receipt of my complaint but has not yet responded with a decision since November 7th of 2024. There's discussions that the publicist roll further alleging they were a fixer for Hollywood elites with a history of covering up scandals. Well, that would make sense with the whole, like, Joe Jackson and Michael Jackson, because she's connected to the Jackson family, right? And Janet is still a celebrity. There's claims that this publicist has ties to other high-profile deaths, mentioning an unnamed pop star from the 2000s who died under suspicious circumstances, suggesting a pattern of orchestrated murders to silence whistleblowers. Okay, so let me read that again. There's a claim. They're saying that I claim this, but I don't think I did claim this. But there's a claim that this publicist has ties to other high-profile deaths, mentioning an unnamed pop star from the 2000s who died under suspicious circumstances, suggesting a pattern of orchestrated murders to silence whistleblowers. Well, that's Michael Jackson, because Michael Jackson was the king of pop and Aaron Carter is the prince of pop. So, yes, that does put, allegedly, the publicist, Angel Hawansky, to Michael Jackson's death as well as the fixer, because she's the publicist. So they're going to feed the narrative to the sheep, to the people. They're saying that there is this is news to me, the FBI's investigation noting that their January 2023 follow-up call, you received a letter in March 2023 stating they had closed their inquiry into Carter's death due to lack of jurisdiction over a local homicide case. However, they confirmed they were still investigating the child abuse allegations separately, which I see as a partial victory. So the FBI never contacted me in March of 2023 to say that they closed the inquiry. And as a matter of fact, I have emails to the FBI all the way through September of 2024 in regards to Aaron's case. So that's a lie. But I did know that I did know that there were some kind of, well, wait, I don't want to say that. Hold on a minute. Hold on. My plan to release a documentary series in 2025 will include the video of Jovan Williams' confession, the audio recording of the publicist and Martin, and interviews with unnamed witnesses who allegedly saw suspicious activity at Carter's home November 5th of 2022. There's also, they have on file the petition to pressure Hodgman's office, which has 10,000 signatures as of November 2024. So I do mention in Aaron's second documentary series, The Aftermath, that there was a petition going around that they wanted to, it's in the documentary, there's a petition going around about reopening Aaron's case that they're saying allegedly has 10,000 signatures on it, which is enough to petition the Los Angeles prosecutor's office to reopen Aaron's case. Okay, so a $50,000 payment to stage Carter's drowning was paid to allegedly Jovan Williams. ATM Richie was paid $50,000 to stage Carter's drowning, and that the coroner's report is like what blocks further investigation. Okay, so what we're saying is the whole thing from start to finish was corrupt. Okay, but that's coming in whistleblowing, saying that there's a whole lot of accusations, but you gotta prove everything behind it. But you can prove they know of big money moves like this with $50,000 going around. Now hold on. It says that the specifics that would challenge the coroner's report would be such as how Jovan Williams allegedly forced the drugs or how they placed Carter in the tub, so that what Betty Williams' role, her alleged involvement is facilitating the access, cleaning the scene, receiving $5,000, and her disappearance remains a key point of suspicion. Her current location or a statement tying her to the crime. $100,000 payment to Melanie Martin from an Hollywood executive, combined with her estate gain, provide a clearer motive for her alleged complicity. The audio recording is the strongest piece against her. But Gascon's office found no grounds to charge her after their August 2024 interview. So they did an interview with Melanie Martin in August of 2024, okay? And they seem to believe that there is a $100,000 payment from a Hollywood executive, which in my mind, in my opinion, that would be Jeffrey Korchak, the one that I said inserted himself because he's a lawyer and worked for the Hollywood Reporter, okay? And basically what happened is he said that that guy wrote the Prince of Pop, the documentary, but I'm saying that the Hollywood executive that paid Melanie Martin is Jeffrey Korchak, the attorney that works for Sony Films. He's in charge of their finances. And attorneys know how to move money around using offshore shell accounts, shelf accounts, bank accounts to make it untraceable, but ultimately it will still fall back on the attorney. So the attorney took a risk moving all of that money around. And I still think that where he moved it around was on the blockchain and not where it could be traced by the banks. What I think happened is that Jeffrey Korchak, who I believe is the Hollywood executive, moved the money around on the blockchain, and how he did it was using the program that it is OOO. Okay? So if you are familiar with Bitcoin and Solana and the blockchain, it was moved around by the digital footprint for the program that has OOO in the code. Okay? And the people who know what that means knows what that means. Okay, now hold on. Because when you move money around on the blockchain, it leaves a digital footprint, okay? So it's, oh my God, hold on. My arm is stiff. And I want to get my coffee, but I can't with that arm. Hold on. Oh, hold on. I gotta hurry. Okay, now, let's see. There's more. Okay, now, the homicide detective. Now, so they haven't found the forensic accounting of it because they didn't know where to look for it, but that's where it is. Now, the claim about Carter's USB drive containing videos of an A-list actor abusing minors reinforces the motive you've outlined. The FBI's ongoing investigation into these allegations suggests they found some merit. But somebody has the USB drive and its contents. But now we have the actor involved. So the Hollywood executive that I'm talking about is from the Disney movie side. So that makes sense that Jeffrey Korchak would be involved because the USB drive, the evidence that Aaron had on the A-list actor abusing minors, the attorney, Jeffrey Korchak, who's in charge of Sony's financial bottom line, would cover for the actor. So who's got the USB drive? It must be Oprah. Oprah's got the USB drive, and it's taped underneath her desk drawer. That's where it's at. But there's copies already, Oprah. The sheriff's letter. Okay, Gail. The sheriff's letter. Hodgman's alleged ties to Hollywood and the publicist's story paint a picture of deliberate obstruction. Hollywood's track record of protecting its own, seen in cases with Harvey Weinstein where allegations were suppressed for years, lends plausibility to your claims. They haven't found any kind of financial specific evidence tied to campaign finance records for Hodgman, communications with the VIP who allegedly pressured the sheriff. So whoever if it was Jeffrey Korchak, the lawyer, pressured the sheriff So, but they'll find they just have to look for the cryptocurrency digital footprint from Jeffrey Korchak. But again, it's not like Ray Lugo would just go to the bank and withdraw $50,000. What I think they were doing is they were using the gang to get it out of crypto ATM machines. That's why the gang was important. So the sheriff's dismissal in September 24 and Gascon's lack of charges despite a re-examination June to August 2024 hasn't met the legal threshold for a murder case. But the FBI's focus on the child abuse suggests that it may have more traction, but not yet. It's alleged that Melanie Martin received $100,000 to stay silent and was hoping to gain $500,000 from Carter's estate. With the audio recording showing her agreeing to push the drug overdose narrative. But Gascon's office did not charge her after their August 2024 interview. The audio recording, okay, you guys, this is alleged, okay? The audio recording, if it explicitly shows Martin admitting to covering up a murder, could be grounds for an accessory charge, but its impact depends on its clarity and authenticities. Financial records proving the $100,000 payment or her estate gain would also be critical. So if they gave Melanie Martin $500,000 from Aaron's estate, it would push the blame more towards Melanie. So if they're going to take anybody down, they're plotting to do it against Melanie, because they allegedly have an audio recording of her, and that would make sense because they got to have something on her. So they do. They have something on Melanie Martin stating that she agreed to cover it up for $100,000 and also for $500,000 being extorted through the estate. Now, Jason Vigor. Jason Vigor was involved in a single car crash, driving 5 miles per hour. He was the investigator I was working with the entire time on Aaron's case. Okay. Vigor could have suffered a sudden medical event, such as like a heart attack or stroke, causing him to lose control. However, at 43, he was relatively young and no reports mention a history of health issues. The coroner's report hasn't been publicized, but if Vigor was impaired by alcohol, drugs, or otherwise, it could explain a crash at low speed. Notably, another LASD deputy's death in 2024. June 2024, there was a LASD deputy's death that was attributed to methamphetamine use, raising questions about a potential substance issues within the department. However, Vigor's reputation as a dedicated sergeant with no prior drug use, so that's where Monique Figueroa's case comes in, because Monique Figueroa was a drug pusher, a drug trafficker, or she delivered drugs, methamphetamine. That is what they use to kill people. So that's why they would also stall Monique Figueroa's case, because that's the drugs that Monique Figueroa was delivering and trafficking methamphetamine. Methamphetamine is a drug that allegedly the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department uses to kill people off. So that's why they're not going to prosecute their drug dealer. Vigor could have been involved in reviewing your evidence, especially since the LASD's Homicide Bureau handles criminal investigations into deaths. And my submissions included William's confession, which I claimed and detailed how he staged Carter's drowning, and allegations of the child abuse network areas, might intersect with Vigor's expertise given his role on the Overdose Response Task Force and Homicide Bureau. If Vigor was investigating or considering your claims, his sudden death could raise questions, especially in the context of your broader narrative. Now, single vehicle crashes at such low speeds rarely result in death. Hold on. One second here. Okay. Jason Vigor's accident happened at Valencia Boulevard in Santa Clarita. He was off duty at the time of the crash. Vigor joined the LASD in 2008 and held various roles across corrections, narcotics, and homicide, and was notably the first sergeant on the Sheriff's Overdose Response Task Force. He was survived by his parents, 4 children, and 3 siblings, one who is also a Los Angeles Sheriff's Department sergeant. So there you go, okay? Let's keep it all in the family here. His sibling, the person who was working on Aaron's death, who I suspected they killed off by injecting him with drugs, okay, it has a sibling who's a Los Angeles Sheriff's Department sergeant. So again, back to the sheriff and the cover-up. He was pronounced dead at the scene, and there was a woman also involved, and she was hospitalized. But her identity and relationship to Vigor wasn't disclosed. So again, another handler that probably shot him under the arm or in the arm. They just shoot him right then and there. They just shoot him with a syringe of drugs. Okay, so that's what happened there. So yeah, that's a lot. Let me see if I missed anything. Hold on. No, I haven't. Okay, so there you have it. Okay, so now there's more information about Aaron Carter and his case being released, and that they have. So they have Melanie on record saying she agreed to cover up the crime. Okay, but then Melanie has information that they agreed to cover up the crime as well. So it's part of the. Okay, so the root of the problem is that Aaron Carter possessed a USB drive of a celebrity A-list actor who was abusing minors, and they've been covering it up the entire time. And yes, it's all the corruption all stems all the way back to Los Angeles prosecuting department, the sheriffs, Monique Figueroa with the methamphetamine. They're not going to go ahead and pay to have her body brought up to the surface. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that because it implicates their own. Because who killed Monique Figueroa? Okay, let me explain something to you kids. Okay, you think that you can do drugs or that you can sell drugs or alcohol or whatever, just the sins or whatever, and never get caught or whatever. Eventually it all comes out. And so now it's coming out now. We have learned new information. Okay, we've learned new information. And the only way they haven't been caught is because they moved the money. In my opinion, they didn't know where to look for it on the blockchain. But there is audio recordings that exist. So they have, okay, so I put the claim in for the re-examination. They acknowledged the claim for the re-examination of Aaron's case. But then they claim that they contacted me, okay, to let me know what was going on. And they never did that. And so I'm just finding out today about this. I'm just finding out today that there's an audio recording of the publicist, okay, which I believe is Angel Hawansky, to cover, because she also knows about the Michael Jackson thing. Okay, so they're moving the money around on the blockchain. Anyway, that's a lot. So I'm glad that I have at least a handful of people in the room. Please make sure you screen record this video so that it is available. But now that it's out there, and multiple people know about it. And I know it'll get back to all the players that are involved. I'm not mad at ya, but I'm just saying, like, there's nothing you can do, 'cause I'm stuck like glue to my guy, Okay? And this is my case. And there's nothing that you can do, boo, to stop me from talking about Aaron Carter, the late Prince of Pop. So there you have it, folks. $100,000, $500,000 from Aaron's estate, which Melanie won't get thanks to me. I wanted to go to Jane DeBella. All right, I gotta go. I love you. Bye. See you later. I'll see you when I see ya.